Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. And over the past week or so, now that it is November, I've been starting to see a lot of people across Reddit and Facebook share their wish lists or their shopping carts as well for the upcoming ILNP Black Friday sale. Actually, I don't know if ILNP has even confirmed that there will be a sale, but my understanding is that in previous years they have done a Black Friday sale, so that's why a lot of people have been preparing for that. If you're unfamiliar with ILNP, they are a boutique nail polish brand, and part of why so many people are excited about shopping on their website for Black Friday is that ILNP is a brand that is very well known for really not discontinuing their polishes. And the times that they have, from my understanding, is that they have given people a lot of heads up, advance notice. So it's the case that you can go to their website and find polishes to buy that were originally released years ago. So you're not having to worry about, oh no, this polish was initially released like a month ago, but I didn't have the budget to buy nail polish a few months ago when it came out. I'm never gonna get it. Nope, it's often what I know many people will do is take a look throughout the year as far as what ILNP is releasing, and then keep building their wish list, there we go, and their shopping cart over the year, so that when the Black Friday sale does come around, that's when they can go and buy everything that they have been wanting to do. Now, different people have different types of nail polish color and finish that they tend to gravitate towards. And on this channel, I have made no secret of the fact that I am someone who loves dark nail polish. I mean, it's kind of why I'm wearing a shirt with a skull on it. I'm trying to be on brand today. And as I was looking throughout my collection of ILNP polishes, I realized that while I do have some that are more pastel, more light colored, and those are wonderful polishes, they aren't necessarily ones that I would consider to be my favorite. So as I was planning out this video, I thought, well, the ones I pulled out to showcase today are all dark and vampy, so I might as well just call this my top dark and vampy ILNP polishes, so y'all just know from the title what you're in for. And I also, because I know that a big part of what I have been loving to do on this channel is to help give other types of ways to use polishes beyond just using them straight out of the bottle just by themselves. For all the polishes that I'm showing today, I'm going to be showing at least one other way that I have typically used it in the past, like by layering it with other polishes, by figuring out ways to kind of fine tune the color to get it to be more in alignment with what I like, but still leaving open the option to wear it out of the bottle as is. In this way, I think a big part of why also I've chosen these polishes to showcase today is because of what I have come to see from their versatility. And y'all, as I'm looking over at the ones I've pulled out today, at least two, if not three, have very significant fill lines. You will see these are polishes that I have been using and loving a lot. So if any of you are similar to me and that you love dark and vampy nail polishes, but maybe you haven't been seeing this genre, I guess, of polish colors being reflected in a lot of other people's wish lists and shopping carts, then hey, you're in good company with me today. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into my favorite dark and vampy ILNP polishes. All right. The way that I've planned out how to approach this today is to do this in roughly rainbow order. So let's start with red. And the first polish that I'm going to highlight today is Sabrina. This one came out in, I think it was one of ILNP's Halloween or fall collections. And I love a good dark vampy red polish. And when I saw this one, I thought, ooh, I need that. I can always take more dark vampy reds. Now I'm gonna talk as I swatch out the first coat of this here. So when I got Sabrina, or before I got Sabrina, and I was looking on the website and seeing different swatch photos and also different YouTubers' videos, it was surprising to me because this was a polish where I was just like, what does this polish really look like? Because in the swatch and review videos, it appeared to be more like red violet, like some purple tones, which you're most likely seeing here now. But on ILNP's website, I was getting more of a red angle, and you can pick up on this and see that a lot of this is coming from the reddish flecks that are in there. And in the bottle, it's got like a really gorgeous tint to it. But as I'm building this up, I do want to make sure to give you the right impression of this one and to give my recommendation as to whether or not Sabrina might be a good fit for you. As I'm doing this, I'm going in with my second coat. As you can see, it really starts to build up a lot better once you get to the second and definitely to the third coats here. So what we've got right here, 2 coats of Sabrina. And while I think that, yeah, it is red-ish, this is the kind of red that I reach for when I am wanting to, like, when I can't decide between whether I want to wear red or purple. Sabrina fits right in the middle of those two, and I think it's fantastic. Now, if you're someone who's looking for a pure vampy red, I'll switch them around and say, if you're looking for a vampy pure red, then I don't think that Sabrina is going to be the right choice for you. If you're looking for just like red, and then you get this, you will most likely be disappointed with how purple it can lean. As I'm doing this, I'm gonna put on the third coat here. But my recommendation for this is if you already do have a lot of vampy reds in your collection and you're looking to add on to it by mixing in something that has a different sort of lean than the ones that you already have. Like maybe you already have so many dark reds that are pure red and you're like, I could go for like a maroon, a burgundy. Sabrina is fantastic for that. Now, what I want to do next, I'm going to go off camera for a bit and replicate these 3 coats over here and show one way that I have been using Sabrina together with another polish. So be right back. All right, I'm back with a replica of what we have on the left here, which was 3 coats of Sabrina. And I'll start by saying that one of the things I love most about this polish is the formula and how with those 3 coats, you build up to very full opacity. It's something that I don't always see in other polishes, even after you build them up to 3 coats. So with 3 coats, you get excellent opacity as well as this stunning shimmer that is running throughout. However, if you were to say, you know, I love the shimmer that's running through Sabrina and you love the sense of visual texture that it adds, but you're wanting to maybe push it a little bit more to like a true red, that is where I would say that Sabrina can pair excellently with a red jelly polish. The one I've got here is from Starly. This is Blood Belly Jelly. It says shake well before use, so I should do that. And I'll show you what it looks like when I put just a very thin coat of Blood Belly Jelly over Sabrina. Okay, so what you've got here, and as always, I will be showing how this looks in different lighting, since I'm not sure if the camera is picking up as much of the difference that I'm seeing with my eyes right now. But what this does is that the like the shimmer that is running all throughout Sabrina, that on its own looks more like gold, over here on the right, when you put a red jelly over that, I mean, this may sound very obvious, but what it's doing is that it's causing all of that all of that gold shimmer to have a red shimmer. And this could be something that almost looks like Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. So I love the versatility that you get here. Again, I highly recommend Sabrina, if nothing else, for the beautiful, rich color, but also the excellent results that you get with the opacity of it in 3 coats. But then knowing that if you ever do want to push it more towards like a true red, just put a red jelly over it and boom, there you go. And you can wear it both of these ways. The next polish, continuing with red for now, is Bitten. And this one, I almost like, if you can see, I know this is from overhead, but like y'all, the fill line is like where, just beneath where the ILNP wording is right there. I have used up that much of this bottle here to just give you a sense of how much I have used and loved Bitten. This is one that I chose to buy last year because, well, I love red, but also because I loved how shimmery and textured it was on the inside, even more than what you get from Sabrina. So let me show you how this one builds up. I will have to tip this over a little bit because it is getting low. So here is how the first coat will go on. So, you know, when I was talking about just before how much I love Sabrina for its opacity and how it builds up, this is one of the reasons why, because you'll see that when you, like at least to here, on a swatch wheel, when I build it up in 3 coats, we're not going to get full opacity there, but that's okay because of what else we're going to do with it. But where Bitten really, really shines, in my opinion, is the fact that its opacity is like this, and that with 1 coat of this, it's more sheer by design, but it still has such prominent flecks and sparkles that are in there that once you see what we're gonna do next when we use this as a topper, you'll see even more how certain aspects of these flecks will come alive depending on the base color that we put underneath it. So this is 1 coat of Bitten. Let's go ahead and go to the second coat. Also, I'm very proud of myself for like not having made any kind of vampire biting sounds just yet. You all have no idea how much restraint I am showing here by not like doing that. So, I mean, I hope I don't jinx myself here and start doing that now that I've called it out, but yeah. Okay, we're up to 2 coats right now. You can see we've started to get a deeper color payoff there. Still not to the extent of what we have with Sabrina, but as this is building up, and as I'm like moving this in different angles here, you can start to see some of that glitter variation that is going through that. Glitter or flakes, I can't recall offhand exactly like how ILNP characterizes it, but this is a polish that I would say it lays down very flat. You do not need to use any kind of glitter smoother with it to smooth out any kind of like bumpy texture. Now let's go in for the third coat. By the way, normally as I am actually putting on nail polish, I do tend to wait longer in between coats to like let them dry, but just for the purposes of filming, I do tend to just kind of go a little bit more quickly, but you still get the same overall results. Okay, here is our third coat. Oh, this is such a beautiful polish. Just a little bit more on this side. There we go. All right. Oh, she is gorgeous. Oh, no wonder. Okay, I know why I'm not tempted to make vampire sounds, because I'm so distracted and blinded by how beautiful Bitten is. It's seriously just stunning. You can absolutely wear it on its own like this, and I think that when I first after I first bought this polish, that was the main way that I was using it. But then as I eventually got more into experimenting with other like combination options, I started to wear it as a topper. I think that was also partially because like seeing just how much I've been using this polish and how far down that fill line has gone, I thought, what are some ways I can implement to try to like get the most out of what I still have here? So what I'm gonna do off camera is take up these next two nails here to swatch out two different base colors, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we put Bitten on top of those. Okay, on each of these two nails, I have swatched out a cream polish. The one here, the dark red, is cracked polish red. That was done in 2 coats. And then on the right, it's a dark brown polish, and that is Mooncat's Kafka-esque, and I did that in 1 coat. And so what I'm going to suggest here is showing you the versatility of Bitten when you use it in just 1 coat as a topper. So like I said, you can absolutely build it up like this in 3 coats, or you can say, well, which colors and like which like hues and shades within Bitten are you most drawn to, and then you choose your base color based on that. And so you can say like, I really want to bring out more of the red that I'm seeing in Bitten, so you put it over a dark red, and then boom, just like that. It just, oh, I love this polish so much. I really do. I mean, it is just like it like this just looks like its own complete polish there, and not even like if you hit the reality, which is a cream and then using this one as a topper. Okay, while I'm gushing over that one, let me go ahead and show y'all what it looks like when I put it over brown. So like Bitten does have, I would say, some like brown golden tones to it, and if you decide to play up that aspect of Bitten, here is what you will get. I do want to point out that Bitten does have a red jelly base to it, so if you put it over a color like brown, it will tint that brown slightly. But like this here, you know, if you wanted to get Bitten, but you sorry, if you wanted to get Bitten I did not mean it like that. Chomp chomp. If you wanted to purchase this nail polish, which just happens to be called Bitten, there we go. But say you didn't already have a gold reddish flaky topper in your collection, or maybe you're trying to manage your nail polish budget and you're like, I can either get this one Bitten or like a flaky topper. I would say Bitten has that versatility of being able to be used in both ways. Now, you're not going to get the same flaky shape payoff that you would with something that is in fact designed to be a flaky topper, but do know that this is a polish that I am highly recommending, not only for how it looks on its own, but for its potential to be used as a topper. And even then, like, you know how some polishes that you buy, you look at them and you're like, there's really just like one color that I feel I can put this over and have it still look good. That is not at all the case with Bitten. I mean, y'all, you can put this over purple, like a light purple, a dark purple. You can do so much with this. So I'm gonna stop talking about Bitten so that this whole video doesn't become like Olivia's love of Bitten. And let's go on to the next one. Up next is Roulette. And those of you who've been watching a lot of my videos and learning more about my nail polish preferences know that I love magnetics. So I am shocked that a magnetic nail polish made it into this favorites video. That was some sarcasm, by the way. Here's the thing about Roulette though. So, okay, the reason I bought it was that on ILNP's website, it's described as being a black-based red magnetic polish. I mean, like, I guess this color falls somewhere in the color spectrum of red, but like, if you close your eyes and picture red and what comes to mind for that, as I did, this color here was not it. However, even though I would not personally consider this to be like red, like I don't even store this with my red polishes, y'all. I store this with my orange and yellow polishes. I do think that it is one of my favorite ILNP polishes. And that's part of why I'm glad that I've structured this in a way where I'm like, not just showing you how the polish looks out of the bottle, but I'm gonna tell you more about how I like to work with it. So if you are trying to think of strategies for how to use ILNP's black-based magnetic polishes, you do have the option of like building them up on their own. So I'm gonna start with like one coat here, just on its own, so you can see how sheer that is. So I know some people like to do one coat at a time, and then like they will like magnetize each coat. Like if they're doing 3 coats, they'll magnetize all 3. Personally, for polishes like Roulette that are black base, what I like to do is put down 1 coat of a black cream polish. The one that I use is Bee's Knees Lacquer Void. And then I will put 1 coat of, in this case, say Roulette over top of that, and then just magnetize the 1 coat of Roulette. The way I see it is that, I mean, it helps me to save this magnetic polish, and knowing that this is a black base polish anyway, I know I'm going for a black background. By the way, I'm going to go in for the 2nd coat of Roulette here. I know that I'm going for a black background anyway, so why not put down a black cream polish to help me in that regard to push it there. So that's just my preference and in the way that I like to do it. But the way I've structured this is that we're going to do it both ways so that you can see the difference there. Keep in mind though, of course, I'm doing this on a clear swatch wheel, so you're not going to have the exact same result with this one on the left as you would if you were to put this over like an actual fingernail, but you'll still see that difference there. While that is marinating and drying, I'm going to go ahead and put 1 coat of Roulette over my black swatch here. Also, if you prefer to wear Roulette unmagnetized, this is also something that you could do to just really amplify that that color a lot better. And so I'm gonna go in with my bar magnet. Just gonna give that just a moment to do its thing. By the way, I had a really hard time like not putting every single ILNP magnetic polish that I own in this video because that would just go forever. So, okay. So if I look at this here, you know, it does look kind of, I mean, I still refuse to say that this is red. It looks orange to me. It looks orange yellow, especially on the outer edges there. Part of, I think, why I'm including this in here, as much as I do love this polish, I know, as I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of y'all are building your wish lists and your shopping carts, and I don't want someone to go on the ILNP website, see that ILNP calls this a black base red magnetic polish, and what you were hoping for was like this kind of red, but then you got this. But I do want to show you some really good things you can do to work with this. So I think, whatever you want to call this color, I think it's stunning. I look at Roulette and I think it's like a fireball flying through outer space. And that is fantastic. That is a vibe that I'd love to go through life with. While that one is chilling, let's go back to where we were over here, where we had 2 coats unmagnetized of Roulette. And what I'm going to do now is go in with a 3rd coat that will be the one that I magnetize. Like I said, you will get a similar result, but personally, I'm someone who does not really like a whole lot of visible nail lines. So what I prefer to do anytime I wear a black base magnetic polish, just like the one that I'm wearing today, actually, which is Mooncat's Epilogue to Utopia. Even though this one is being advertised with having a very high degree of opacity, I still just like put down 1 coat of a black cream polish, and then I do 1 coat of, or I did 1 coat of the Mooncat polish Epilogue to Utopia on top of it. Part of that, I mean, real talk, Mooncat's prices are some of the highest that are out there in the boutique nail polish world. So if there's anything I can do to like stretch that bottle to make it last longer, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's compare. This is without the black base, and this is with. You still get a really good result here, but again, knowing that you are working with a black base anyway here, just put down a coat of black. It's going to give you a much better result, in my opinion. So what are some of the things that we can do with this polish? My recommendation, and what I'm going to show you next, will be a way that you can try to bring back in some of that red if that's something that you are missing. So I'll be right back. Okay, what I have done is that I have put down 1 coat of black, followed by a very generous coat of a polish that I've spotlighted many times on this channel. It is a red flake topper from Spectrum Cosmetics called Slay. And I have done it here on the swatch wheel for doing the cat eye magnetic effect. And then I've done it here also on a swatch stick because I'm gonna do the velvet effect for Roulette as well. By the way, one of the things I realized I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video was that I was going to say one of the upcoming videos that I'm planning to film and post over the next couple weeks at some point is like a Black Friday shopping tips video for people of various budgets, like whether you are, you know, you have no limit and you're like, well, how can you make the most out of what you're planning for, versus if you're on like a low buy versus a no buy and so on. One of the things that I'm going to mention in there is that if you do have a limited budget, but you do want to treat yourself to some polishes, one of my best recommendations for how to get the most use out of the polishes that you buy, especially if you don't already have a lot of toppers in your collection, would be to prioritize getting toppers, because they truly are the seasonings of the nail polish world. You can just do so much with them. I will talk about toppers all day, every day, but just want to put that out there as a thing that's coming up on this channel. All right, so the reason why I have laid down this foundation is that first, I put down black for the reason I mentioned about just wanting to get to opacity a lot faster. But then also the reason I put down the red flake topper was to make it so that you are like, we're re-infusing some parts of like what we consider to be like this true red that's missing from Roulette. So I want us to still love and appreciate Roulette for what it is, but I think that by putting down Slay here, that's going to help us to get just those little hints of red there. So let's go, and I'm gonna put over top of this. Okay. And then I'm going to magnetize this with my bar magnet. Now, if you, as I'm magnetizing this, I'll say, if you're someone who has never before experimented with like putting down flakes under a magnetic polish, one thing I'm going to make sure to link in the video description is a video tutorial that I posted a few weeks ago, I think, about what I call the magnetic pond effect, where you use a magnetic polish together with a flake topper to get that kind of really cool visual outcome. But also, I think if you've never done this before, it's like, if you are looking at this and as you see the like, as I rotate this back and forth, what I want you to do is compare these two here, middle and right. These two are exactly the same, with the one difference being the one on the right has the red flake topper underneath. Oh, that is so pretty. Like, it is a way for you to be like, I put some like ruby jewels in my nail polish, but you can only see it at certain angles. And then when you do get that extra pop of color, it's just like, whoa, where did that come from? I'm hoping that this will become even more visible in some better lighting, but we'll see. Yeah, but I cannot stop rotating this. Okay, let me stop. This is, I'm starting to notice a pattern that, I'm just gonna call myself out right now and say, I know this is a favorites video, but like, I am getting very giddy about these, and just, I need to remind myself, I can't just keep like, fangirling over every single one indefinitely. But in any case, let's do, but I am having a lot of fun with doing this and just really being able to show you all why I love these polishes so much. Let's go ahead and do this with the velvet style. So exact same kind of setup, black base, red flake topper, Slay on top of that, and then putting Roulette over that. And then I'm going to put that in my velvet magnet from SJ3 Designs. Just going to give this a moment to sit and do its thing here. Yeah, I as this is going, I would say, either effect, whichever one you prefer, you can have this this flaky benefit from. I think that from my testing, I think I was able to see it more in the cat eye style, but let me see. What do we have here? Let's get that in focus. Okay, so with this, you're gonna wanna have to shift it a little bit from side to side to be able to see it. So it's there, but I think because of how the velvet magnetic effect is designed to be, where, you've got this really thick band of pigment along the top there that's kind of concentrated, you're not going to see the red as prominently as you do in the cat eye style. But if you are someone who tends to prefer the velvet effect in general for your magnetic polishes, this is absolutely a strategy that I would recommend using. So once again, Roulette, it's lovely, and even lovelier when you use it with a red flake polish. So let's go on to the next one. Continuing to move along the rainbow, our next polish is Salem. Okay, so remember how I said my fill line for Bitten was really low? This one for Salem is even lower than it is for Bitten because this polish is just everything. It has like this, at certain angles, a dark purple shift that pops up, and it's so stunning. I love it. Let's go ahead and start swatching it out here, and I'll talk as I do this. So I'm really gonna have to like try to get the last drops out of here. This is definitely one that I will need to repurchase at some point because clearly I love to use it. Now, as much as I love Salem, like I don't love how much it takes to build up like that. So let me put a little bit more on here for the first coat. And this is, you know, I have like shaken this up, yeah, to get it moving, but this is kind of how it builds up. That is one of the drawbacks, I would say, with this polish, but you know, if we take a look at it here, you can see how it's got those green speckles in it. Now, part of the reason why I have these two swatches prepared so far with one coat of black on each is that I'm going to do something where I show a progression of some other options for how to work with Salem. So as this first coat is drying a bit, I want to show you how one coat of Salem looks over one coat of a black cream polish. I mean, do you see that? Like, you know, like I said before, I'm someone who is very much a proponent of if you have polishes that can basically give you the same general outcome by putting it over black, do that instead of trying to continue to build it up on its own, especially if you're someone like me who prefers a look that has full opacity and you don't like a lot of visible nail line. So here we are over here building up our second coat of Salem. It's starting to get there, but y'all, like, it not like that. Like, we just got there like boom. Okay, I'm also gonna put one coat of Salem on this one on the right because I'm gonna do something else with that one, but I do need Salem as a base over the black to begin with. I love this color so much. And yeah, I think Salem is one of these colors that is, you can definitely understand why it made it onto my dark and vampy list because it's dark, it's vampy. It's so stunning. Let me go ahead and put the third coat over here. And like I mentioned, I think for the original swatch of Bitten, this is going to look slightly more opaque when you put it on your actual nail because of the opacity that like your skin has, like your nail bed has. You know, if you have a longer free edge, you probably would want to go with putting it on top of a black base if you do want to get this kind of overall look. But okay, so what we've got here on the left, 3 coats of Salem on its own, and then each of these two has 1 coat of black followed by 1 coat of Salem. Now, there are times when, depending on my mood, if I'm going for a really dark green polish that, depending on the lighting, especially if it's lower indoor lighting, can almost appear to be black, but you know, as you adjust your hand, it's like, oh, that's actually not black, that's green. Like, if I like that kind of illusion, this middle combination is the one that I go with. However, for times when I want to say, like, I want a more vivid green, but I still want some dark, mysterious undertones to it, here's what I do. So at a certain point, at some point over the past year, I also bought this other green polish from ILNP called Good Fortune. And it's gorgeous. It's very bright. I mean, if I put the top back on Salem, and you can see these two side by side, I'm not sure how much this is picking up in the bottle with the difference there, but Good Fortune on the left is brighter than Salem on the right. However, when I swatched out Good Fortune on its own and like wore it for the first time, by the way, this is a swatch of how Good Fortune looks on its own in 3 coats. I was really disappointed. For me, I didn't like this shade of green on me. I want to compare it over here. Like if I put it in here and you can see like the comparison of how Good Fortune looks compared to Salem, especially over black. It's still green, but it's a different one, right? So then I had the idea, what if for those times where I want to wear a more vivid green but still have some like dark mystery to it, that's when I will wear it like this, where I start with 1 coat of black, then I put 1 coat of Salem, and then I put 1 coat of Good Fortune. Let me show you how that looks. Okay. Oh, that is pretty. And there we go. So just to put this one in again, Good Fortune on its own. I mean, and I'm hoping that this will get picked up across these 3 swatches in different lighting. But the one on the right is where that's what I use for times again when I want a little bit of dark undertone, but I want people to see clearly that my nail polish is green. This is where it's like, I like Salem. I'm okay with it being darker. And this up here, I can honestly not remember the last time I wore Good Fortune on its own. I think probably the only time I wore it on its own was when I tried it the first time out of the bottle, and I was like, never again. That is not my shade of green. And so yeah, this is what I recommend. If you already have Good Fortune in your collection, and some of y'all might, because I know it's a very popular polish, consider adding in Salem, especially if you're looking for a polish that's going to give you some versatility, because as you can see here, it looks absolutely stunning over black, and also gives you another option when you choose to pair it together with Salem. I'm sorry, with Good Fortune. So let's go on to the next one. Up next is a blue polish that I don't often hear a lot of people talk about, which is Lured. And it's just this, it's not teal, it's just very like pigmented, sparkly, like dark cobalt blue that's starting to flirt with being teal, like the bluest side of teal. So let me swatch out the first coat of this as I explain what we're gonna do as I show this to you. So, I mean, again, with the opacity, so seeing how this looks, you can probably already guess what we're going to do for this demonstration. Yep, I mean, you can build up Lured on its own, and it does build up quite well on its own, but I do want to show you how this looks when we take a similar approach to what we did over here with Salem, which is to just like go right ahead and put 1 coat over it, 1 coat of it over a black cream polish. Like you can see over here on the left, it has like a black jelly base. So putting it over a black cream polish just helps you to get there a lot faster and in a way that allows you to preserve that polish that you've got. Let me go ahead and add a second coat on the left. It just, this polish is just so lovely in how it, it's just like shredded blue metallic, and it's, oh, I love this polish so much. Okay, I'm also gonna do 1 coat of this over here for the same reason that we did with Salem, which is that I'm gonna do something else with this in just a moment here. I'll also mention, you may have noticed that I think this is the one polish so far that I've shown that is using the default brush that ILNP includes with their effect, what do they call them? Yeah, their effect polishes, the ones that are not their studio color creams. Yeah, and you can purchase the wider paddle brushes separately, but I think they come in a pack of like 10 possibly. And so I when I bought my paddle brush replacements, I think I bought like 2 packs of them, and then I had just like 2 extra polishes that unfortunately did not make the cut that time around to get a paddle brush, and so Lured unfortunately was one of those. Okay, so we've got that built up there, and let's do some comparisons here. So yeah, you can see, like I mentioned, this does build up on its own very nicely. So if you are someone who prefers a more sheer look, absolutely build it up on its own in 3. But if you want more opacity, you can put just one coat of it over black, like we've done here. Looks like the one I did on the right pulled out even more flakes. So that's also something that you can choose to vary, that I think you can choose to vary when it comes to your application. And I think that it comes through a lot more clearly on this one here. But I'm sorry, it comes through a lot more clearly when you put Lured over a solid cream color than it does, I think, when you do it on its own, because of that contrast that's coming through behind the metallic flakes. You're able to more easily see and control just how much you're putting on there. So let me close this up and put this to the side. And my recommendation for something that you can do when you're working with Lured and wanting to take it to the next level will be to put a silver flake topper over it. I'm sorry, would be to put a silver magnetic topper over it. And the one that I have in my collection is Enigma Glow from Monarch Lacquer. And what I'll do here, I'm gonna shake this up a bit. I think that blue and silver are just colors that go very well together in general, and that's why I recommend that with Lured. It ends up looking like a polish that could very well like be its own thing, like its own polish right out of the bottle. So I'm gonna magnetize this here. I'll also mention that I do need to go back over the Roulette swatches, and before I put top coat on them, I'm going to apply that DRK Magic Effect that I typically use for magnetic polishes that helps to give a more crisp magnetic line. I'm probably going to need to do that here as well because this isn't as sharp as I would like it to be, but you can already see just you know, how nice that looks. I mean, this really does look like a polish that ILNP, I think they do have one that looks like this. Okay, if I can remember which polish it is that ILNP sells just like right out of the bottle that looks like this, I'll put it up there in the corner so that you all can see what I'm talking about, because I swear I've seen something similar to this before. So what I'm gonna do is let this sit for just a moment, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how I put on the DRK Magic Effect so that you can see just how well that's going to give us a more crisp line for this. Okay, I'm back and I'm about to put on the DRK Nails Magic Effect. Now, because I tend to put this onto well, okay, I would say for those of you who are unfamiliar with this kind of product, it's one that, my understanding, it's some kind of combination of thinner and a top coat, which is used for the purpose of giving you a more crisp magnetic effect with magnetic nail polishes. And because what this does is that it re-wettens the polish, it tends to pick up some of that, as you know, on the brush, and as a result mine is like purple here. This originally starts out clear, but this color doesn't transfer back over to the polish that you're using it on. So I've mentioned this before in another video, but since it's been a while since I've done that, I do just want to very quickly show you how what my process is for this. What I'll do is completely oversaturate the nail. Actually, what I'll do first is magnetize the polish in the style that I want, whether that's cat eye like it is here or the velvet effect. And like I said, I completely oversaturate this because I want this to be something where it's gonna give a little bit more ease of motion with the, I guess, magnetic particles within the pigment. Okay. And like the angle that they'll have when magnetizing. So now I'm just gonna go in, hold this here for a bit. You know, at some point, I think I probably will experiment with making my own Magic Effect like product, just if I can figure out what that right ratio is between the thinner and the top coat, because I do wear magnetic polishes a lot, and therefore I do use this product a lot. But if it's something that I can just kind of make myself with just thinner and top coat, then yeah, I'll definitely want to give that a try. Okay, do you see the difference there? Like before it was all over the place, but now this has a much more crisp line, and I just think that lured works excellently with a silver magnetic topper like this. So if you already have a silver magnetic topper in your collection and you're trying to think of some ILNP polishes that could pair well with this, I highly recommend lured. So let's go on to the last polish for this video. The final polish that I'm going to show y'all today is this gorgeous purple one called Madeline. And I had a very difficult time deciding exactly which purple polish from my collection that I wanted to show. I mean, I could have done more than one purple, but then we would have been here all day. And also, not all of them fall under the category of what I would consider to be dark and vampy. But yeah, if any of y'all want to see what the other ones are, just let me know and I'd be happy to show those as well. But yeah, this is a purple holographic jelly polish that I think it's very surprising, I think, when you see how it appears in just one coat compared to how it then builds up once you get to 2 and 3. I think if you already do have some purple, similar like holographic jelly purple polishes in your collection, especially from ILNP, Madeline can be a fantastic one to add in because of this, just the depth that you get from this as it builds up, and it's really good to use as part of a purple skittle. And let's go ahead and jump to the second coat here. Like you can already see with even just with this second coat, just how much this has changed. This is a polish that I admittedly don't wear as often as I probably should, considering how much I love purple. I think part of that is this is a polish that, with it being having that hollow formula within it, it definitely sparkles a lot in the sunlight. But I tend to think of purple, especially this shade of purple, as being a more fall and winter color when there's not as much sunlight around. So I'm not really able to get the benefit of that hollow that's in there that would otherwise be coming alive. But let's go ahead and jump to the third and final coat for now. And there it is. The third coat is where you just get that maximum color payoff. It just brings it together so beautifully well. And this is a fantastic purple polish. I think
really because of that versatility. Like, depending on your preferences, you could probably even just leave it in the 2 coats if you wanted a purple result that was that level of purple. But if you want to go for that full depth here, and if you're a seasonal polish wearer, the 3 is where you're going to absolutely see how gorgeous this polish can be. Now, what I'm going to do off camera is replicate this with the 3 coats onto these 2 swatches here, and then I'll tell you what, or I'll show you what I'm going to suggest as a way of combining this with some other polishes that you might have in your collection. All right, so I have put 3 coats of Madeline on each of these swatch nails. If the one on the right looks a little bit off, it's because I just before jumping back in to film this, I saw that I had sort of nicked the corner of that and scraped off some of it, so I had to like fill that back in, but that should be all good to go now. Now, let's say you've got Madeline and you love this overall shade of purple, but you are wanting to go even deeper with it without necessarily needing to buy like every single shade of purple that exists across the nail polish world, but you do already have some jelly polishes in your collection. And this is where I've brought in 2 of the jellies that I own. A black one from Emily Damali called Sheer Tint Shadow, and a green one also from Emily Damali called Sheer Tint Forest. And for those of y'all who are like, green, what? Oh yeah, you'll see. It's gonna be all right. So let's start with the black. I think using a black jelly polish in general is an excellent technique to use for times when you really like the overall color, like the overall look of the color, but you want it to be just a little bit darker. And I will say that yes, putting a jelly on top of a holographic base polish like Madeline will start to dampen a little bit of that hollow sparkle that you have in it. However, for me, like I said, because I'm wearing this polish during the darker months when I'm not really getting the advantage of seeing any kind of sunlight sparkle on it anyway, that doesn't affect me as much personally, but I just do want to point that out as something to note. The reason I do this myself is I love the purple color that's in Madeline, but for times when I want to go just a little bit darker, this is the result that you get there, which I think this difference will show up better in some other lighting. I was also curious as I was planning out this video to see what other kind of jelly colors I could put over top of this, and like, yeah, I could put a red on top of that and that would be so easy and predictable, but I always like to do something that is what I have been calling the, okay, y'all, hear me out. Like this is where we are here. I saved the hear me out for the last part here. Putting a green jelly on top of a purple holographic jelly polish. Let's just go out with a bang, right? So here we go. And as I'm doing this, I will say I was actually very shocked, in a good way, with how this turned out. At least from my eye right now, the green jelly has resulted in a darker result than the black one. And I think that, you know, you could get here if you put on a little bit more of the black jelly, but what I love about this here, it's like, it's a purple nail polish that has a secret, you know? It's like a purple nail polish that's like hiding something. And you're like, ooh, what's your secret? Okay, see, I may not have made those vampire sounds earlier, but I think I'm starting to lose it because I'm about to make these nail swatches start talking. So let me not do that. But like, for real though, from this angle especially, you can see the progression there where we started to now how this gets. It's just like when you love that purple color that you're starting with, but you want to deepen it, you want to shift it in a different direction, using jelly polishes works so well with polishes from ILNP's collection. So I just point this out to say, if you are purchasing one like, say, Madeline, feel free to keep using Madeline for like what Madeline is for itself, but do know that you can, if you already do have jelly polishes in your collection, you can absolutely get other results like this without having to say, go out and try to find and then buy a completely separate other polish that looks like this. I mean, that is, oh, okay. I never thought that putting a dark green jelly on top of a purple polish would look, but that is cute. So let's take a look in some other lighting. Ooh, okay, that was a lot of swatching. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I did one of these videos where, or maybe if there ever has been one of these videos where I end up with only 3 blank ones on the wheel. Usually I get through like half of them, but this one, like, yeah, this was a lot, but I really hope that this video was helpful for all of you, whether you are someone like me who lives in vampy dark polishes in general and is looking for others like them to add to your collection, or if you're someone who tends to prefer wearing neutral or say pastel polishes, but you are wanting to dip your toe into the dark and vampy waters and are seeing the ILNP upcoming Black Friday sale is a great opportunity to do that. I would love to hear from all of you who have started building your wish lists and your, I still can't say that word, and your shopping carts. Please let me know, which polishes are you planning to pick up? Are any of these on your list? Are there any of these combinations that you're looking forward to trying? Anything like that. Like I said, as I was in the process of swatching out one of these, I can't remember which. I know for some of you, you may skip around, which is absolutely why I put the timestamps in here for the chapters. But in case you missed it, I did mention at some point in this video that I will be planning to shoot a video sometime over the next couple weeks that will contain my tips for planning for Black Friday as a nail polish shopper. So be on the lookout for that. And also, if there are any things that you are hoping to see from that video, please feel free to drop a comment. I would love to hear your suggestions for that. S's are really hard for me to say today. I'm just gonna stop talking now. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. This was a lot of fun for me to swatch out. I'm definitely looking forward to trying out some of these combinations for a full manicure. And yeah, look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye.